Now, what is inflation? Inflation is where your money or your purchasing power is becoming less and less because of all the printing or all the money that has been injected into our economy. Things like meat, poultry, fish, eggs, these things in particular have gone up by 11.9% within the last year. Welcome to this video. Today, we're gonna be talking about 6 reasons why you should be paying attention to inflation. Let's get right into it. Reason number 1 why you should be paying attention to inflation is money is being devalued. The more money that is printed and that is put into the economy, the more that your current money that you have is being devalued. So that's reason number 1 why you should be paying attention to this inflation and what's going on in the background. Reason number 2 is because your money is being eroded, that means your purchasing power is becoming less and less. As we print more money, the value of your current dollars is becoming less and less, which means you're not able to purchase as much with the same amount of money as you had before. Reason number 3 that you should be paying attention to inflation is because inflation is something that is impacting your finances. It's very important to keep track of what's going on with your finances so that you understand where it's going. Because this is having such an impact with your finances, you need to be able to be prepared for it. Reason number 3 is you need to be prepared for what to do with your finances because of inflation. And you need to pay attention to inflation because it is impacting your finances. Reason number 4 is during times of inflation, some people have a tendency of hoarding. And so this means that people are gonna go to the local market and buy, extra things to be able to stock up. This could mean that you may have a hard time getting particular items because other people have gotten more than potentially they needed at the time. Now, if you're finding value in this video, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button down below, and we're gonna move on to our next point. Reason number 5 you should be paying attention to inflation is it's gonna lower the cost of borrowing money. So if you want to borrow something, so you get a mortgage, let's say, on a home for 3% or 3.5%. The inflation rate, which is over 6% right now, that means that the money that you're paying, the interest that you're paying on that mortgage is less than the inflation rate is, which means that you're actually getting paid to borrow money to buy a house. Reason number 6 that you should be paying attention to inflation is that your savings account is paying you nothing. The savings accounts are at an all-time low. Many of them are only paying 0%. And so what this means is you need to be staying on top of where to put your finances. Now, what is inflation? Inflation is where your money or your purchasing power is becoming less and less because of all the printing or all the money that has been injected into our economy. We see inflation in a multitude of different areas. How about gas? Within the last year, gas has gone up by 59.1%. That's a huge increase. Also, food. In particular, things like meat, poultry, fish, eggs, these things in particular have gone up by 11.9% within the last year. So if you were going to purchase eggs and they're typically, let's say $2 in the past, then now you're paying $2.22 plus for the same amount of eggs. Then if you're doing that every week, then that tends to add up. Also right now, we are at over a 6% inflation rate. And that is the highest rate that our economy has seen in the last 30 years. And what does that mean for you and for your finances? That means that you need to consider things that are assets, putting your money in places that are not losing their value just simply by setting on the sidelines. Make sure that you're an active investor, investing in stocks, investing in real estate, investing in crypto. Do your due diligence, but that is where you're able to protect those assets, to protect your finances during these turbulent times. So here are a few ways that you can protect yourself or hedge yourself against inflation. One of those ways is investing in assets. Assets are things that pay you for owning them, and they are a hedge or a protection against inflation. One of those things could be cryptocurrency. If you're careful with it and if you do your research and your due diligence, you can invest in cryptocurrency. I would suggest Bitcoin and Ethereum as some of your best options for that, but that could be a hedge against inflation. 2, you can also invest in stocks. Stocks, it can be a great way of being able to hedge against inflation and being able to at least keep up with inflation, as stocks tend to rise as inflation rises as well. 3 is real estate. If you're able to invest in real estate, or if you're able to set aside money specifically for investing, that can be something that is very beneficial to have money set aside if things do come to a point where other people are selling and you have money set aside. That's going to set you up to be able to purchase those things that are quote unquote going on sale. Number 4, for what you can do to hedge against inflation is to have an emergency fund. Emergency funds are extremely important. So if you have 3 to 6 months of money set aside for an emergency, then this allows you to have more freedom to know that if something were to happen during this time, that you'd be okay and be able to find something within that 3 to 6 month period of time. Those are a couple ways that you can protect yourself or hedge against inflation. Now, if you found value in this video, go ahead and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button down below. I really do appreciate it. Really helps out the channel, and I will see you again next week.